On this episode of Tiffany's Take, we're going to talk about parenting. I'm going to help my daughter do her project while getting to know me a little bit deeper in my parenting style. All right, let's go. It's Tiffany's Take. Okay, so we're going to get into it. You guys, I'm so excited that you joined us for this special episode. And I just want to let you know that I have no idea the questions that Taylor is going to be answering. I'll be answering. She's going to be asking. Can you tell I'm nervous? Oh my God. Okay, so here we go. Tay, I'm going to let you take it away.
Okay, so I have 15 questions that I'm going to be asking. So the first question is, what do you believe makes a great parent?
Okay, this is a good question. Okay, so what I believe makes a good parent, I think, is having a firm foundation. For us, it's Christ, but just, being able to understand that you can't do this by yourself. And sometimes that foundation in the African American community and even in the Hispanic community, we call it our village. So I think it's important to have your village, and also in realizing that with being a parent, you're going to make mistakes. So you have to give yourself the freedom to make mistakes, because even though there may be books on parenting, there is no perfect parent.
Yeah. Question number 2.
Okay.
Do you enjoy teaching and guiding others?
Yes, I do. I think that's evident. I am a substitute teacher, so I definitely enjoy it. I think it is a part of being a part of somebody's village. If I can't give you something, a part of a knowledge that I have, I think that it's selfish for me to be keeping it to myself. Not saying that if you don't like teaching that you are selfish. That's just like, it's a gift. And so therefore I believe that I should share it.
Yeah. Okay, question number 3. What made you decide to become a parent?
You know what? I think that was God, because I thought that I wouldn't be able to have children. So me getting married and getting pregnant, I thought maybe we would adopt, but the Lord saw otherwise, because you made me a parent, my firstborn.
Okay, question number 4. Do you feel your decision to become a parent was influenced by anyone else?
I would most definitely say no. I think that being a parent, I feel like I parented a lot. Like, I help with my siblings. I'm the oldest of 7. So it wasn't influential. It was one of those things that I had to come to the grips with, like, deep down in my soul. Like, I really did want to be a parent. So it wasn't influence that made me want to be a parent. It was just really knowing deep down in my heart that it was something that I wanted to do. I would say if I was influenced by anything, honestly, it would be love. Like, knowing that I had a lot of love to give, knowing that, honestly, your dad would be an amazing dad.
Yeah. Side note, not raising your siblings, but being there and guiding them through most of all of their lives. Did that ever deter you from wanting to be a parent almost, or question if you would be a good parent?
No, it didn't deter me from wanting to be a parent, because I love all my siblings. Honestly, if I was able to, I probably would have tried to convince your dad to have more kids, because I love being a part of a big family. Literally being hey, we got the basketball team right here, we go to the court It's on and popping, and we got people on the bench.
Too many. Too many kids. Okay. Are you ready to put your child's needs above your own?
I definitely am ready to do that. I have done that, and I do not regret it one bit.
Will you and have you had to rely on friends and family for help?
Oh, yes, I have. And being the oldest, and I'm just going to be honest, like being the oldest and being a perfectionist, it was the hardest thing for me to do. But yes, parenting is definitely not something you can do on your own.
Yeah.
Like I stated earlier, you need to have people around you because you will lose it. Just to say it frankly, like you will lose your mind if you do not have help.
Yeah.
It can become overwhelming. Whether you have one child or 10, it can be overwhelming if you don't have help.
How will having a child impact your life?
Oh, I love this question because having a child is the greatest reflection of yourself. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And it's to me like having a kid is God's way of showing you like where you have been and where you can go, because it helps you grow. Like I think if a child is watching this, like wondering what it's like to be a parent, I will honestly tell them that being a parent is the greatest blessing you can have, because I think it grows you up. It makes you look at life from a different perspective. Like I think one of the things that I really hold on to with, as I think about like the Bible and God reminding us we need to have a childlike spirit. Like when you guys were small and viewing everything for the first time, and it was just so amazing. And I was like, wow, just sometimes we forget seeing your first rainbow, picking up your first flower, all of those things like were just an adventure. And I think when you are an adult, you tend to forget to stop and smell the roses until you got a kid that is picking up every single dandelion, not the rose by the way, but a dandelion along the walk, like, oh mommy, look. And you can't tell the child that they just killed the flower by picking it, but I think that is like children are amazing. They're amazing in that way.
That was nice. Let's see. Oh, okay. What kind of parent did you think you would be?
What kind of parent did I think that I would be? If I be honest, I am actually the parent that I thought I would be. I thought that I would be consistent, and I am. I thought that I would be somewhat corny and spontaneous, and I am. At least I think I am. And I knew that I would definitely be loving, and I wanted to be honest. Like I wanted to be a parent that, if I made a mistake, I would admit my mistakes. If I had questions, like I would ask them, and I wanted to be an open book with my kids, like with my struggles, whether it be health or financial or, like spiritual. I wanted to be able to have appropriate conversations but still have them. And so that's the type of parent that I wanted to be, and I thank the Lord that that's the type of parent that I am. I almost forgot, and I always wanted to be there. I always wanted to be there. Like, I never wanted to miss anything. I wanted to be that parent that other people would see and be like, we know that she's gonna be there.
Yeah. And you kind of answered my other question in that question.
Oh, okay.
So, what do you think I missed out growing up when I did that you had as a kid?
Ooh. Missing out? I'm gonna say something that's negative that you missed out on, but I look at it, I think for me it was a positive. I think, but it's a blessing that you don't have to go through it. And I think it's just having, growing up with financial struggles, growing up with having to do things on my own, me always being there, which was, the one thing that I have. It may have been a disservice a little bit, but at the same time, knowing that you can count on me was important. But I think those things that I had to go through kind of made, as we say back in the day, it made me tonka tough. Like, there's nothing that I feel like I can't handle, or there's nothing that I think that could come in my way that can deter me from what I want to do or where I want to go.
Yeah. And I feel like we've talked about this a little bit because, like, when I told you I didn't feel I was completely ready to go to college, because not only was I afraid to be on my own, it's just the unknown and the fear of that for me. While you said you were just ready to get out the house. So I can kind of see how that kind of changed. Like, if you look at our lives, like, side by side, it's like right at the point when it's time to go to college, you're ready. Where I, on the other hand, I'm doubting myself and I don't want to move too far away because I'm unsure.
But I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to leave. Remember, my mother forced me to leave. Even though I knew that deep down I could handle anything, I wasn't ready to go. It was because of the fact that I loved my family. I am family oriented. So, even though I knew that I would be okay when I left, I wasn't ready to leave because of the emptiness, the thoughts. I grew up with like 9 to 10 people in my house. Like, sitting with yourself is scary.
Yeah. So maybe I am still the opposite of you though, because I want to go to college and like get an education. I want to do that stuff. I'm not saying that you didn't.
Right.
But like I'm fine with the leaving part. I mean, I'm fine with the leaving part, but it's just that underlying fear that maybe what if I mess up or what if I can't do it by myself. So it's kind of like a flip flop for you. Anyway.
Yeah, but I think, can I say this though? But not just to you, but to any young person that is watching this, because I think it's important. It's okay to make mistakes, right? And I think that we deal with, and I'm getting ready to get real mommy-ish and deep right here, but I think we deal with so much suicide when amazing young people leave because of the fear of failure and the thought of not being able to face family. And I think that we as parents maybe need to do a better job of letting you know that it's okay to fail. It's okay. And one of the things that I grew up saying to my siblings, and I don't even know if I say it to you guys that often, because you guys are so amazing. And I think that's the part too, because you guys all naturally succeed. I think it's important that I even share with you right now in saying, when you fail, there's only one way to go, and that's up. The key is just remembering to get up. So when you fail, don't stay down. That just means that you just have to find another solution. That may mean that you need to call on your village, but you just can't keep it to yourself. You know? if you, and sometimes we can catch the mess up before we completely mess up. So when it's those moments, you can always call when you feel yourself falling, you know, and when I can, I'll catch you. Oh!
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you too. We're back. I'm not crying right now. Well, first off, thank you for saying that, because it is good to hear that, like, even though I feel like something I try to tell myself personally is that everything in the moment seems so much bigger than it will seem in 5 minutes, 1 year. Like, the farther away you get, the smaller the problem gets, and I feel like sometimes you can just get caught up in that emotion in that moment, and it makes things so much harder. And so I've really struggled a lot with trying to figure out if I want to live my life moment to moment or goal to goal. Mm-hmm. And that's something we've talked about in, like, my classes for, like, medical professionals and stuff, because it is something, and it's good to be balanced. But as I've realized that as I start to live my life moment to moment, I'm crying a lot more, or I'm like, it's like one emotion per moment, and it just amplifies it times like 25.
And I think that you have to live by both.
Yeah.
I think you have to set your goals, but you have to allow the moment to be the moment.
Yeah.
Because without goals and without plans and without dreams, you know, you'll find yourself stuck and wandering.
Yeah.
Right? But if I have, and you know me, I am a planner. I don't always fulfill my plans, hence the amount of videos that I put out. But I've learned not to knock myself down about that, because life happens, right? And trying to record everything is something you get used to. We're not used to this, you know? I'm not used to this. But when you set a year goal, and this is something that your dad, he is just so smart and so amazing, something that your dad really helped me with, because I will make goals, but I'm making like, I'm gonna have a 5-year goal and a 10-year goal, and he like, babe, that's too much. Like, those are good, you need to make those, but what we gonna accomplish right now?
Yeah.
You need something to make you feel accomplished right now. And so I think that is important. And then not only setting those goals, but making sure they're realistic. Be realistic. Don't sit up here and be like, we are in May, and then say to yourself, you know what? In December, I'm gonna write a whole book, and I'm gonna send it out to publishers. I'm gonna do this, and this. That's not a realistic goal. I'm not saying that people can't do it.
Yeah.
But it's not realistic if you're in school, you have a family, you know, all of these different things. Like, that's an ambitious goal. But if you say, you know what, 5 years from now, I want to have a book. It's going to be an autobiography, or it's going to be a fiction, or, you know, fantasy, or whatever the case may be. And then you say, and you know what, preferably one day, it'll get picked up. See, that one day, that's a part of your 10-year plan. That's a part of your, you know, just long-term goals. And if it happens before that, then so be it. Yeah. You know what that means? You just got to change your long-term goal. Because now you just fulfilled that. What next? Because that's how it was for me. It was like, okay, I'm going to write a book. I wrote the book, and then it's like, whoa. Okay, now it's like, you're an author. Okay, so you accomplished that goal, and that was a long-term goal, so now what? What you gonna do next? So you just keep moving forward, you know? So,
I feel like my problem is, though, instead of like making like a couple good goals, I make a lot of small goals that build up, and if one doesn't get met, then it's just like, oh, that sets me back. And then it's just like, if this part of the tower's not finished, then it's all gonna fall down.
Mm-hmm. And I've been there. You get that from me. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But let me be the first one to tell you, as I have had to talk myself off of the cliff of never gonna happen. They will happen. The thing with setting plans and setting goals is that you can't be upset when they're shifted. It's okay to have that moment, right? But notice I said I gotta talk myself off that cliff. I'm recently going through a situation right now where I had to talk myself off that cliff. And I had to do something that I didn't want to do, but guess what? It doesn't ruin my entire plans, it just shifts them. That's that whole point of the analogy of, okay, you didn't fell off that horse or you didn't fell off that bike, now get back on it immediately. Don't wallow too long, because you wallow too long and then it's gone. Now you have this fear. Now you're having this extra burden that's unnecessary, right? So you have to get back on that horse and get back on that bike per se, and just realize that your goals and your plans are shifted or even delayed a little bit, but they're not done and over with. It's like you are 17 years old, and I have to tell myself even at 41 that life ain't over, right? I had goals, I had dreams. When you look at my plans for my life with short-term and long-term goals, I'm supposed to be debt-free right now, possibly a superstar, trying to say no to fame, and living my best life with my husband and my family looking like the Huxtables. Now we kind of look like the Huxtables, I ain't gonna lie, but where certain areas in my life I feel like I have fallen short, I just have to count my blessings. And that's what we call redefining success. Look at where you are successful. Look at how you are blessed. Look at what you have been able to accomplish and what you have been able to work on with the deterring, right, of that goal. And then and that's what makes you move forward. That's what gets you off that cliffs of never gonna happen, woulda, shoulda, coulda. I'm working myself through that now. When I'm talking to y'all and I'm talking to you, I'm talking to myself. I have to constantly do it. It's not easy, especially when you're a dreamer. Ooh, dare I say that? It's hard to be a planner and a dreamer at the same time, because a lot of times we can dream, but they never become goals, and they never become plans, and they never get put into action, and then we have regret.
Oh, that's what they're talking about in that Cinderella movie. Back on track.
Mm-hmm.
The next question: what was something you took away from when you grew up that you either wanted to replicate or never do as a parent?
Whew. Okay, this is a tough one. We struggled growing up, and that was hard. So I never wanted to struggle, and so financially, and I think it happens a lot in communities of color, not knowing how to handle your finances. I did not want to put those traits on you guys. I wanted to be better with my money, and I still struggle. I ain't the best. But I wanted to definitely be better than that, and that was something that I didn't want to bring into being an adult and being a parent. But something that I did want to take away from it was the togetherness that I had with my siblings. And it was like kind of hard, but like the togetherness that I had with my siblings and the love that we have for one another. Like no matter what, no matter whether we fight, no matter whether we argue, like when we need one another, we come together. And that was definitely something that I wanted to bring and to have for my children and for my family. I wanted that togetherness, that time that when you come together, you enjoy one another's company.
Yeah. Did your views on religion, family dynamics, politics, like sexuality, any of that change after having kids?
Honestly, no. If anything, I think I became more rooted in my opinions and my thoughts on all of that. Because I think that as a parent, you realize you are raising individuals, right? And I think that, and when it comes to politics, like I just love politics in general. So like wanting my children to have their own thoughts and their own mindset, like I think sometimes in being a house divided is funny, you know, because you get to see, you know, the conversations. But I love, and that's one thing that I love about being married to your dad, is that we come together as one, but we do have our own individual mindsets, and we try to raise you guys to be individuals and have individual mindsets as well. So when it comes to politics, I think that that's important. I think having a foundation in beliefs is important, but I didn't just want you guys to have religion. I wanted you to have a relationship with Christ. I think that that was the most significant, important thing to me, not being under a particular denomination, but just being like focused on your relationship with Christ and knowing who He is. So I think I became focused and make sure that I was teaching and believing what I was teaching and going forward and saying, you know, on all those different aspects, like this is where I am, and this is when I want to make sure that my children understand and feel free.
Yeah.
Like I want to raise individuals, not clones. And hopefully we have Thanksgiving and Christmas together.
Well, yeah.
In spite of our differences.
So you kind of made a clone.
It wasn't no purpose. It wasn't no purpose. But I guess that's a blessing.
Okay.
I guess that is a blessing.
You're not
Yawning
boring.
is contagious.
I swear, you're not boring.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How would you describe parenting to a complete stranger?
Ooh. Okay. I would describe parenting to a complete stranger as, like I said earlier, a reflection of yourself. You seeing the good, the bad, and the ugly, and then deciding on how you're going to respond to that. And then you get to wrap in, was the way that your parent parented you in that perspective sufficient and good? Because otherwise you need to take a note from that book, and if not, then you need to figure out something different because you lived it, right? But I think you also, I would say that you just be prepared. Have your mama, your father, whoever took care of you on speed dial, because when you had that first child, be ready to apologize. Be ready to apologize, because as kids, you say things, you do things, and then when you have your own child, you're like, I don't know how you did it, and I'm sorry.
Did you ever apologize?
Oh yes, I apologize to my mom a lot. I apologize. Sometimes I have moments and I still apologize, because I feel like every phase, like now y'all teenagers, and I'm like, oh mama, you had 7? Oh my God, 7? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry if I was an extra burden. Like I can't. Mama, I love you, and I'm so sorry.
Okay. What was something I did that completely changed how you raised me afterwards?
I think it was, this is hard. I think something that you may have did, it probably would have dealt with like you crying after you got in trouble. I think that might have like made me realize I'm gonna have to do something different. Because like it made me look at myself and say, well, I don't want to discourage her, right? Because, and we talked about this, like I was saying, that you would have moments where it would be like you following people and you're doing things. And I didn't just want to be like, oh my gosh, you're such a follower, and just like tearing you down. But I had to make sure that I let you know, okay, leadership is a skill that can be learned. I didn't want to leave you hanging and just being like, I'm going to be a follower for the rest of my life. So I think that the moment, like from when you were small and getting in trouble and making that same mistake because you were following behind somebody doing something, made me realize, okay, I'm going to have to do this differently. Help her realize and see where she is making a mistake, but then encourage her. Because I knew and I saw early on that if I didn't give you that encouragement piece, then you would really be lacking confidence in yourself.
Yeah. Okay. And then I don't know if I asked 15 questions, so this is a bonus maybe for the 15th question.
Okay.
How would you feel if we, or if any of your children did not have kids?
I think that it's your choice. I mean, and I say that with all honesty. And I think life happens. I would never, like if it was for some reason that you couldn't have children, right? I would never want you to feel guilty like, oh my gosh, my mother thinks like I'm this horrible person because I can't have children. No. And then if you made the decision not to have children, I know you guys love me and I know you guys love your dad, and because we have conversations, I know it wouldn't be because of the parenting. Like I know it wouldn't be our fault that you wouldn't want children. Does it make any sense? Because I feel like when people have that opinion or wonder like, oh my gosh, why doesn't my children want to have children? Like I think they look at them like, what did I do wrong? Did I screw this kid up? But I don't think that. Like you're individuals and you guys want to do things with your life. So if you decided that you didn't want to have children, then I think that that's just your own personal choice. I would not take that personal at all. I mean, if I got grand puppies and kittens, I don't know, I might be a little strained with the kitten and the cat, but, or lizard, snakes, or whatever, chameleon, whatever, bird, whatever animal y'all choose to love and call your child. I mean, I'll swallow my pride. I ain't keeping it. I ain't babysitting, but I love it. And I'll be like, yep, this is my grand dog, my grand chameleon, or whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my opinion about it. I think it's a personal choice.
It must be past my bedtime.
But you know, now they got that thing where you can adopt your grandchildren.
Really?
Yeah, people adopt their grandchildren. I'll find me some grandkids if it gets to that point.
I don't want to have kids because do you know your bones, they literally move.
Hello, I did it 3 times.
Oh my gosh, that sounds painful. What is it called, the thunder pains or whatever? I'm not doing that.
My husband told me I'm not allowed to talk about my birthing experience.
On camera or
at all. He told me not to share it with nobody because it's not realistic. So I'm not saying nothing. But I will say that I was blessed. So all that you talking about, I breathed through it and I was just fine.
The only way I'm having a kid is a water birth.
You don't know that either. You may not make it to the water.
Oh, well, we're gonna be praying.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold it in.
Girl, no, you ain't. You be like, get it out. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to scare nobody on here. Okay. Next.
That's it.
That was it. Taylor. Man, you did a fabulous job. That was amazing. Those were some awesome questions. Thank you
You're welcome.
so much for the interview. And this is something that we'll have forever and ever. And it was fun. It was fun. So I thank you guys for joining us. If you hung in there with us all this time and watched this episode of Tiffany's Tay, it was my pleasure to do it. If you have questions, comments, concerns, please make sure to put them in the comment section. And you know what? Don't forget to like and subscribe, right? That's important. Like, let's do this thing together. And as we are getting close to Mother's Day, I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers, those who are like mothers, those grandmothers that are mothers to their grandkids, all of that. Whether you have given birth or have chosen your children, Happy Mother's Day. You're amazing. I'm Tiffany, and this is Tay, and this is my take.